fantasy days. Yeah. Brett, can you remember Riley beside you? The name Super? Yeah. Okay, I got Ben beside you and Scott's beside me.
So me, Ben,
Scott.
Scott, you.
Riley. Brett. I just don't want to screw it up. And you know how hard those guys are to wrangle. Has anyone told them they have to be here?
Most going together.
Has anyone seen Ben the entire thing?
He's our rankle wrangler.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hey, Keith, did we ever do an interview with the artist on Cowboys and He's here. He's going to be in the audience. He was trying to say he knew all of us to get in early. And I was standing behind him. It's like, you know, all the guys that we talk comics. It was just such a weird thing. Yeah, he is high season.
Oh man, I love that book.
Thanks. Oh, this does not feel sturdy at all.
Oh, dude, we're gonna die. This is it. This is where everybody dies.
Be careful coming up here, man. This thing is not sturdy.
There's a specific
Oh, sorry.
Is there?
rises at the end.
Right.
Sit that in.
I'm at who? Where? What?
So,
Okay, I'm good.
There's an order.
All right.
Chris sort of knows the order.
You guys sure this thing's gonna hold? All right. That's good. That's good. All right.
I'm
I prefer
concerned.
to think I just saved you.
I'm concerned about the structural.
Yeah, I don't.
I know what he did. I know what he did. How do you justify being up here with these two?
Fuck if I know. That's exactly what I'm gonna say.
That's true. That's how.
Mike's
We're gonna
alive.
show
Good
on
to see you.
podcast.
Yeah, sorry. I'm Ryan.
All right,
Ferry.
so we're sitting. We're good to sit down.
Are we just?
He's an
Ryan Ferry. I don't know. They told me I had to go.
I'm just sitting here.
Chris, where's everyone?
Okay, yeah. Keith's on the end. Ed, Ben,
Come on, Ben. Here you go, buddy.
Ben, Scott, myself,
Something tells me this doesn't really matter.
Riley.
No.
I just went to where I thought I naturally go.
Well, sorry in advance. They smell pretty bad.
It's some sort of code, I bet.
This thing is gonna fall. We're dead.
Yeah.
This is it for us.
Where you are, it's fine.
You're like Paris.
Can I drink this? Is somebody opened this already?
I'll push you over, man.
I moderated the Captain podcast.
I was there. I was sitting.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
And then so my wireless and my cordless go. Mike went dead. That's why I'm awkwardly leaving.
I saw some.
Topic.
We actually talked.
Yeah, it's we're live. We're streaming.
So how come you're over there?
This is going out to the internet.
Why aren't you allowed to sit next to him?
Don't talk shit then.
Tell me what you really think of one of the major publishers in town.
Astro doesn't want to be over there. Astro. Oh, wow, dude, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
Holy shit.
So sad watching it. I was waiting for my name drop.
Yeah.
But like, I was like, cause like that whole thing would be ready back.
Do you have a
Going
huge
on for almost a year. Like I knew that. No, I stopped. It was never said publicly.
It's distracting to
So
try
it's
to
like,
go.
Yeah.
Enough to talk to you, right?
Yeah, but I compete. When I talk to people. And I compete when I talk to people, but I can't structure stuff.
No, that makes sense, because you're just sort of going through your motions, your set.
Yeah, it's just filling in. It's like
No, he asked.
paint by numbers.
I turned it on.
He wanted to talk about the comic master and try and get like
I had one job.
Like list of actual courses on Sorry.
I think so. We're gonna die.
We'll just watch it. It's my brother.
Just like house rules kind of thing. Okay, sure.
Yeah, with the,
Well, this is the thing. No, not the drinking.
Got a live burlesque going as well, so it's going to be kind of bullshit. It is, but I don't know. Fiona was wanting to do something, so we're going to go with a couple of the local dudes like Nick Johnson.
hey guys, let's take a picture.
Hey, less casual photo.
Yeah.
I was just looking at you though.
But we're going to go to Hoppenberg.
Where is that?
It's on 12. Yeah.
I lost my mind.
It's on like just off First Street. Yeah, it's the house.
Just like this one.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, I'll see you in a minute too.
Tonight?
Sure.
Oh man, money.
I'll make it sexy.
You better.
Sometimes I just steal stuff from Fiona's box.
Yeah.
Money, and I don't tell her.
Nice.
Oh, you didn't do as well this time.
What's that?
I'm lying about stealing from my
Did you
girlfriend.
blame it on her too? She's like, you gotta do better.
Oh, dude, I just saw the numbers of some of the trades for the fucking last month. Like,
It's crazy, dude. I don't even know. When we started dating, she, was making less money than me.
All right, guys. Welcome to the Calgary Expo. Is everybody having a good time today? Yeah, nice. Awesome. Okay, guys, we're just going to go over a few ground rules here before we get started, okay? Okay, so video recording is allowed, still photography is allowed. Please no flash photography. Also, if you have a cell phone in your pocket, make sure it is set to silent or turned off. I've been told we have a robot from the future that will come and destroy your phone. I think it's an Ed 209, but I'm not sure. Also, on the way out today, we will have surveys for you guys. They're panel surveys to talk about the panel and how much you enjoyed it. And if you take one, fill it out, hand it back in to somebody with a shirt just like mine, okay? And you'll be entered into a draw for passes for next year's Expo, okay?
Are you sure you're
Thank you very much, guys. Enjoy the panel.
I am completely sure positive.
Do a bunch of research.
And just to let you know that if you do like the panel, we give you free comics.
Shabanza would be available on 8-track. So it's like Glass Heart.
What if they don't?
Can't remember the others.
What if they don't like the free comics? I don't know what we do then.
It's a free comic. Live with it.
Give me some recommendations. Hey, yo, and here we go. It is We Talk Comics live for the first time in front of a studio audience. Thanks
Yay!
for coming.
Applause!
We have planned almost nothing, but we picked some chatty folk that I'm sure can fill up the time in an entertaining way. I want to introduce everyone. First off, my co-host, Brett Monroe.
Hello. Thank you for coming.
Right next to me is the fabulous Ed Brisson, writer of 24 and other stuff. 24 is the only one that I...
Sons of Anarchy.
The Field and Sheltered.
Sons of Anarchy. Don't
I
forget
think,
that.
Ben, you take over.
Okay, so Ed also does The Field and he does Sheltered, which are two fantastic series you should be reading.
And Avengers?
Avengers?
Secret
yes.
Avengers. Secret Avengers.
Avengers.
Yeah.
Right, and next to me we got Scott Kowalczyk.
Come on.
Scott, where's...
No, I don't accept that. No, take it back. No comics for you.
Downset Fight is awesome. You should take all the applause that you possibly can.
Shush.
Agreed.
Huge book.
After Scott, we got Riley Rossmo, artist of Curse and Drumheller. And right at the very end, my co-host on We Talk Comics, Chris.
I have occasionally read a comic book.
Come on. Let's figure out how this works here.
And the man too reticent to actually introduce himself.
Yes. Hi, I'm Ben. I do independent comic stuff that you've never heard of. And me and Andrew Foley are doing something together. I'm actually working on it.
That's right. Andrew Foley, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's just start
pointing people out in the audience.
My
Hey,
brother's
guy in the hat. Like,
If we're gonna do that,
Hi there, who are you?
does anybody here know first aid? Because this stage is really shaky. So just in case. All right, good. So we know.
Is that actually your brother?
Yeah, no, that's actually my brother.
You guys look a lot.
That's hurtful.
You guys are both equally handsome.
What if he had said no? Like, would you have to deny that they looked alike then?
I just to say there's a guy that looks like Ben in the audience.
Bradley's going to get a lot of drawing done on this panel.
If you want to be a comic artist, you got to do what Riley does. He does not stop drawing. He will ignore those around him, those that ask you questions, to continue drawing and get better.
Actually, it's just until the moment when you say something that actually gets into his head, and then it's all like, "Hey, I'll talk now."
It's true.
That wasn't it, though.
We're modifying the We Talk Comics structure for today. We will start with one news item, though. So yesterday there was casting of the Gem and the Holograms reboot film, featuring three actresses you have not seen in anything, and one actress you have seen in Sharknado. So this got us talking about 80s classic cartoons. So let's start. Ed, what's your favorite classic cartoon from your childhood?
I was just like a Transformers and G.I. Joe kid, but there's one show I can't remember the name of that was like
You just
weird.
made a lot of new fans there.
Yeah.
They really like you.
Come by the Boom Booth and buy stuff, guys. There was a show in the 80s that was like trying to cash in on the Transformers trend really hard about a dude who, whenever he would turn into a Corvette. It was like a regular just guy who he'd get hot. And there would always be some situation in every episode where he'd get hot under a blanket or something and become a Corvette. It was awesome. I think it only lasted like a season or something, but
You're making that up.
no, it's a real show.
Was he did he have a conscience? Like, was he like a human being in the car, or was he just?
No, he was a human being, and he was like, "Oh damn, I'm a car again. I'm a Corvette. It sucks." But it was like Stan Winston, like Werewolf in London style transformation. Every time he became a car, his face would just go like turn into the grill, and it was really upsetting.
I was kind of hoping he'd just be a car that just like turned into a physical, like inanimate car and just kind of sat there.
It just won't somebody drive me?
It's 28 minutes of that.
Yeah, just silence, just him parked.
He's trying to have it happen in bad neighborhoods, so at least someone like steals him and takes him somewhere, just for a change of pace.
I'm gonna look this up. I'm gonna look it up and give you guys the title.
In the We Talk Comics tradition, we're now looking things up on the internet during the show.
I was tweeting.
All right,
never
we're
do
live
that.
tweeting from the panel.
Ben, how about you? You were born in what, 1994?
Yeah, 10 years earlier. Actually, we grew up with a very limited amount of cartoons we were allowed to watch.
Right.
So I was a big fan of the ones that I could sneak downstairs and watch. Occasionally, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Inspector Gadget, and between that, great Bible adventure stories, the Hanna-Barbera one. Yeah. And another one called Superbook that was like weird anime Christian stories. I've still got it on VHS.
Do you and your brother still watch those?
Oh yeah, we get together and really relive our Christian days.
That's good.
Yeah, over a lot of Coke.
A cola, right?
Now it's a comic panel.
The show's called Turbo Teen, by the way. I just looked it up.
Turbo Team.
Turbo Teen.
Teen.
He was a
Oh,
teenager.
so he was a teenager.
Yeah, he was a teenager. Lots of problems.
Turbo.
Yeah.
Who hasn't been there in their teenage years, though?
I turned into a car.
It's a confusing time. Your body's changing into a car.
Yeah.
A Chevette, too. You just can't get any plane.
Now, Scott, you probably still watch 80s cartoons.
Yeah. So maybe I do. I was a big G.I. Joe guy, but there was one offshoot of G.I. Joe that everybody that didn't get as much recognition as I thought it deserved, which was the Bionic Six.
I didn't know there was a G.I. Joe cartoon.
What? See, one person remembers the Bionic 6.
Bionic 6.
Yeah. See, there we go. It was a family. It was a family
the
of
rights to
cyborgs.
that song.
With the pet monkey.
Yeah,
That sounds
with a
familiar.
pet giant cyborg monkey.
The toys are metal.
A multiracial family, as I remember.
The action figures were die-cast metal,
Yes.
and the paint like flaked off of them as soon as. So those were Christian okay at your house?
Mom was okay with robots killing things and cyborgs fall into robots.
Okay, that's good. Well, Scarab, the villains kind of had a bit of a cross on their chest.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So those are the good guys,
Yeah.
right?
No, Mom, it's totally Christian. It's okay. This is Jesus. Yeah, he's a little fat, but it's okay. Can that cartoon exist? Just a bad guy Jesus?
Let's make it.
He's all gangsta now.
Is that really a comic?
That's a comic. It should be.
Riley, 80s cartoons?
We had only CBC, so for a long time anyway. So,
So it was
I watched-
raccoons.
It was raccoons.
Oh, yeah.
Raccoons.
Yes.
The Toothbrush family? The Toothbrush
Spider-Man.
family?
Spider-Man and Hercules.
Yeah.
Oh, Hercules. Nice.
So let's now, most of those became comics. Like a lot of these became comics. Did you, were there kids' comics based on Saturday morning cartoons that you picked up?
I had an Alf comic.
Al? Oh, that's right. Alf ran
really
for
weird.
years.
It
Yeah.
was really bad. But I got it in Banff at a gift shop. That's all they had. They had Alf. So.
They made a lot of Alf stuff. I have a puppet too.
Cool.
That explains so much about you, Brett.
Yeah, that sounds way worse than it actually is.
Like, I just assume you at home, like, just in the bathtub. Oh, Alf, how are you?
Hey, Willie.
I was doing my yearly throwing shit out, and I found a stack of Alf trading cards, which I guess existed, and I bought at some point. So they exist. They were all like TV shape. Do you want them, Riley?
There's a cartoon too. There's an Alf cartoon too. I know the song to that too.
I know.
It was a prequel cartoon.
Sing it.
There was an Alf prequel cartoon that.
Gordon. Ooh, Gordon.
Yeah,
So
he was on
Gordon
the planet.
Shumway,
He was
yeah.
on the planet, right?
That's right. It was the Adventures of Alf before he came to Earth.
Melmac.
On Melmac.
That's right.
That's
Who wanted
Yeah.
that?
I did.
Who was like, I am desperate to know what happened to Alf before he started eating cats?
That'd be me, apparently.
Of course.
Yeah. The guy with the Alf puppet. Asshole.
Chris, how about you? We haven't heard from you yet.
Okay. This isn't from the 80s, but I have to say my favorite cartoon of all time is Earthworm Jim.
Oh, that's good. It's got a good song
That's
too.
a
Yeah, great song, very funny. A character named Snot.
and the International House of Haggis.
Yep. And Peter Puppy, who hated his sidekick that beat him up on a regular basis. I just love that.
And I think they got like 2 issues of a comic out before the bottom fell out of that franchise. Fondly remembered, though.
But voiced by Homer himself.
Now, what are you looking up on the internet, Scott?
I forgot to talk about She-Ra.
Yeah.
I literally have like all the ringtones on my phone.
Well, who wants to hear a ringtone from She-Ra?
Most everybody.
So it exists. I have it on my phone.
That really comes off well, I'll say. Yeah.
This is it for the next hour.
That's good. That's good pod right there.
We're so done.
She-Ra was so much better than Masters of the Universe.
That's not true.
No, it's not. It's not true.
Now
It's
we're in it.
absolutely true.
What is true though is that the Christmas special is awesome.
I still haven't seen the Christmas special.
I've got it.
Okay.
We can set up something.
Can you talk to me through your Alf puppet when I come over to pick that?
You got it.
Okay, good, awesome.
We're not dodging this one.
I just thought He-Man was better.
No, I think I do actually like. They were both great. Don't get
I
me
like the
wrong.
villain better in She-Ra because he was like a redesign of Skeletor,
Hordak.
basically. Yeah, he was like they made Skeletor look cooler.
Well, when did She-Ra come out? Was it like 1987?
No, wait, it was like 84, 85,
Was
wasn't
it?
it? I think so.
Anyway, when I was watching it, it was sort of like that sort of 9-10-year-old phase, and I was sort of like, oh, girls are pretty. Like, There's a long-legged blonde. Like, I'm okay with that.
Now, you know, when I was younger, I actually liked She-Ra better. Now that I'm older, though, I've gotten more into He-Man. Maybe.
So your tastes have matured.
Yeah, that's right. They bulked up. Yeah.
It's like fine wine, really. It's
Yeah, I bought them all for like $5 at HMV.
I liked Catra. I'm just saying, I like Catra.
All right.
I'm the one.
Chick crawling turns into a cat as soon as she puts your mask down. What's not to love about She-Ra? Bunch of dicks.
I'm the one fan of Mask.
I love Mask.
Right? That was a good show.
Mobile armor.
Now we got a
whatever,
panel for next year.
Seriously, Mask sucked.
Do you guys remember Mask? Anyone? So yeah. So Mask were just regular everyday vehicles like a semi that turned into weapons.
No, they turned into vehicles with weapons.
That was the brilliance of Mask, is that they were one kind of vehicle that would transform into a second kind of vehicle.
It's the same thing.
But there's a helicopter that turns into a jet.
That seems useful.
It's true. In case you need to go in a straight line.
And a robot that turned into a scooter. I hated the little kid character.
Oh yeah, little kid character.
The little kid characters are never good in shows. They're those the worst.
Yeah. And then their masks. So the thing is called masks. Their vehicles turn into a different vehicle, and their masks all have powers. So there's like a mask that shoots like fire or ice or whatever. It's so weird. Like there's so many concepts.
It was a shitty cartoon, but a great toy line.
It's true.
Actually, we're in the 80s.
Yeah, I've got the
Boulder Mountain.
not Boulder Mountain. It was the snake oil tanker.
I don't know.
Where you pull the back of the tanker up and there's like a fucking missile in there. It's awesome. Like
No,
it's
but
just
a
got
big
a
missile, right?
It's a huge missile.
It's like a Scud missile. Like
Yeah.
It's not like a little like. It's like.
And all the characters were tiny, and they had tiny masks that always went down the fucking drain on the tub because you always had them in the bathtub. What is our topic?
There was a comic. There was a Mask comic.
That's right.
Yeah, there was. I actually had all them. But the one thing that I remember about Mask was I always loved the ads that were in the back of the comic. It was always one of those cases like, ooh, Mask. You know, that was great. But,
Well, they had the mini comics too. The mini comics were what got me into comic books with toys in the 1980s.
Well,
They were
See how I
shitty
tied
mini
all this
comics.
together? That's
that's
instinct right there.
Yeah.
Skillful. Thank you. Thanks, man.
See, mine is a comic book and a animated series crossover. I like Visionaries.
Oh yeah.
Visionaries.
It didn't last very long.
Magical lights.
Yeah. But I loved it because it was like, you know, we exited
You're
the
like a
age of
prodigy.
science.
I'm serious. Like,
We're out of the age of science and into the age of magic, and like there's half these, you know, scientific things that still work, and magic is supposed to work it now. Yeah.
I like that you're just making this up now, Brett.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah.
I really like that
magic.
show too, and I like the toys, but I hated that they were just a little bit bigger than G.I. Joe's.
I know
can't
the
mix
3
them.
3/4 inch toys were always the best.
I get it.
Misspent youth.
None of this was rehearsed, so you know.
I think they
Go
got
figure.
that.
Do we want to move on? See if there's any questions.
Yeah, sure.
We get some time.
Anybody have any
Give you lots
questions?
of
Maybe even
fertile
about
ground.
comic
Yeah.
books.
Anybody need to know something about 80s toys?
Comics, toys, cartoons.
Voltron. Let's
Comics
talk Voltron.
or
too. We never
comics.
talked about that one. Yeah, Voltron. Come on.
Anybody got anything?
Which version did you like? Like I
The
like the
Lions,
Lions.
man.
I like the Lions.
Yeah, forget it.
I had a Voltron when I was a kid that I actually
Toy
had
was
to be
massive.
returned because the paint was toxic.
But that was like every 80s toy.
No, this
explains
one
a lot.
All had lead in it.
This one was an actual recall. So imagine getting like the entire giant Voltron on Christmas and then like fucking Boxing Day. Like, oh yeah, he's got to go back.
I wouldn't give it back. I would just, sorry, Mom.
I would
I'm
promise
gonna
not to
get-
lick it.
I want the
and other
lead.
than that, I would not give it back.
That
Did
Boxing
your
Day
parents
sucked.
show you the recall notice, or were you just like being a shit and they took it back?
I think that's the truth.
They like keep it nice in the box until Boxing Day.
I kept the sword. I remember that. I said, okay, you can have it. I'm keeping the damn sword. So,
You are so tainting that mic for the next person to come in here.
I know.
You have
All right.
A lot of pets run away when you were a kid or anything like that?
Shut up, Ed.
All right, we're going to go to questions, and probably the hands will shoot up when I say that we have trade paperbacks to give away to those who have questions.
Awesome.
Oh, weird. Free comics. Hey, okay.
All right, there we go.
I'll ask a question.
I'm
That
coming
guy
on
gets
down.
Youngblood Volume 1 right over
All right.
there.
You first.
What was your first genre of comics before you started getting really into it? Like, did you just get like a fantasy-based one, or like, as you said, army, or kind of something like
I'll
that?
answer for everybody. It was erotica.
Yeah.
So, okay, next question.
I draw my own porn comics for myself and hide them in my toy box until my mom found them.
Like a
and
year
under
ago.
the deck. Yeah, that was last week.
Your brother knows.
He's nodding. Shared experience.
That was your target audience, though.
No, yeah, he was the person that was paying for it. Draw me some porn, Ben. Okay.
All right, you get this.
Mine was
because
G.I. Joe. I'm
we
going to
talked about
answer the
porn.
question. Mine was Tales of G.I. Joe number 2 or 3. I always forget which one. At Herb Trimpe reprint. And a Voltron. And then Voltron was shortly after that. And the Voltron was really bad.
All right. Oh,
You guys are wrong. The first comic we all read was Secret Wars. That's all there is to it. That was the best.
No, I read a lot of Archie. Those are safe. I still love Archie. That's fantastic.
Yeah, my first ones were like superhero based. It was like Captain Canuck was actually my first comic that I ever read, and then a lot of the like animal ones, Captain Carrots and the Peter Porker, the Amazing Spider Ham.
I
loved that.
I remember
loved
those
that
from
comic.
Who's Who. When I was a kid in Who's Who, those were the ones I was like, oh, those are awesome.
Mary Jane Water Buffalo. Awesome.
The Red Tornado.
Pun Fisher?
Was that the Fun Fisher? I don't know.
The Pun Fisher.
Oh, the Pun Fisher. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my first one was the Beastman comic that came with the action figure. The
Mine would be
Beastman
like
comic.
lots of superhero stuff for me. But I started collecting, like actually think of like when I became a comic collector with G.I. Joe and Power Pack.
Power Pack was good back in the
Oh
days.
yeah.
That Power Pack public service comic always really weirded me out. Do you remember that one?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like the Good Touch, Bad Touch one.
He was like-
People would give it away for free, and I always forget that what the cover was. So I'd get it and I'd read it and be like, ooh.
He always refers back to it, so don't let his like coyness fool you. Like, oh, was that a good touch last night, right?
yeah, it's a good touch, bad touch refresher.
Show us on the Power Pack comic where they touch
Okay.
Let's go to another question.
All right. Okay, we got him next.
It's the most exercise Brett's gotten this week. Sorry, Brett. I'm sorry. That was so.
Okay. Favorite G.I. Joe character and why? All of you.
Oh,
Stalker. Stalker kicked ass back in the 80s. He was just a badass dude. He was a sniper, right? He was just a cool dude. Everyone liked Storm Shadow and
Snake Eyes?
yeah, Snake Eyes, that's right. Yeah.
Doesn't it depend, though? I think it depends if you read the comic or not. Because if you read the comic, the characters have all these other, like, things about them. Like, I really
are
like...
you seriously making this question more complicated?
Yeah, like, I really like Ripcord. Because Ripcord infiltrated Cobra Island.
Yeah.
And then Zartan beat him up and switched places with him. And
I remember.
I like Ripcord.
Come on, Quick Kick was the best because he was the only one who never wore shoes. I could never figure out why.
Like
I was
in the
watching.
Arctic?
They were in the Arctic, and
Yeah.
Quick didn't have shoes. Now that is one tough G.I. Joe.
I'm with you. That's
And
a
they
good
killed him off too.
See, now I give props to Snow Job for the opposite reason, that he would wear a parka no matter what jungle environment they were in. And
There's something weird about his name. I don't know.
Yeah, something.
dude came with skis. That was his weapon of choice was a pair of skis. It was awesome.
He was my first like Joe figure. Cobra Commander was always my favorite. He was crazy.
I like his voice.
He was a
His voice
crazy
is the
white
worst.
guy. I
But
love
what helmet did you like on him?
I like the hood.
You like the hood.
I
not
like the hood because I could see like the skin. Like I could see that he was an actual like human being underneath that thing.
That hood was
So
ridiculous. If
Cobra
he bent over, that thing
Commander
would
needs
fall
more
off.
skin.
I know.
Is what you're,
Was that like spirit gum to his nose? Is that
I
how it?
have no idea.
Like,
The
I'm
top
trying to
of his
think of the top of. Well, that would still shift though. Like, I mean, you
No,
kind of have to.
he wore a mask underneath.
Why?
Because what if that thing blew off? Like if there was like a big.
Just wear the
gust.
one underneath.
Well,
That's why I had the battle helmet.
It's a fashion thing. I actually got
It was
the hood
a
of one of
marketing and branding thing that
ordered-
Cobra did.
Yeah.
That,
He's a layered character.
6 pages.
them. I got the mail-in hooded Cobra Commander, which took forever to get because I had to buy like 10 GI Joes or whatever to get the proof of purchases.
8 to 10 weeks in Canada.
It was nuts.
Oh yeah, it did take a long time. I can attest.
He's awesome. I still have him. His crotch fell off.
You are
but
making
I still have him.
Making people leave, man. I want to know if someone's going to say Refrigerator Perry was their favorite G.I. Joe.
No, Tunnel Rat, man.
Was Refrigerator's toy bigger than the other ones?
No, it was the same size. And it was a mail away, too.
Yeah.
At first, yeah.
He had a football for a weapon.
Yeah. A
Wasn't
mace
on his
football
stick,
that he would
yeah.
Sergeant
around,
Slaughter, that's right.
I never understood, like, at the time why I didn't love Sergeant Slaughter, because it was wrestling and G.I.
Made me
Joe.
uncomfortable.
It kind of made me a little uncomfortable.
I knew we were going to get into wrestling at some point.
It's chocolate and sushi, though. Like, they're two great things that don't go well together.
I think they went pretty good. I think they went pretty well
Sergeant
together.
Slaughter was never a big, he was like an old school wrestler. I think by the time in the 80s when I was watching wrestling, he was always that guy who was like Gorilla Monsoon era wrestler you just did not care about. It's like, hey, it's Pedro Morales. And actually, I met Pedro Morales. He's a really nice guy, so I should have shut up.
He's in the back.
Yeah.
He's back there if ever.
He likes comics, too. All right, I'm actually going to go to Sean for a question, because he's important to us.
Wow, you guys are on a first name basis.
He designed this logo. So
It's great. Can't see it.
he rocks.
This
We'll give you stickers afterwards.
Brett, your shirt's inside out.
Oh, shit.
Again.
Okay, Archie, role model for our time or kind of a douche? Dating the same girls probably longer than most people here have been alive. So I don't know, no modern take.
You answer.
I think he's fantastic. I don't really like Archie particularly. I'm more of a Reggie guy myself.
Really?
Yeah, I think Archie
People
is.
like Reggie.
Archie's a bit of an asshole, and Betty, really, like, you're just gonna wait around for that guy forever. Like, have some self-respect, Betty. No, Reggie's awesome, but Archie has done a lot of fantastic stuff, especially recently, pushing the envelope. So outside of, like, the character himself, and, he's prone to whoever's writing him, I think the comic itself has done some really great things lately, and pushed the envelope with comics itself. And, I mean, a lot of people forget that it's still basically, like, one of the #1 publishers of comics in North America, if not the... Like, they sell more than anybody else. So it's got a big influence, and I think they've done a lot of great stuff with it recently.
What's this envelope that they push that you
Well, let's think. Like, things like Kevin Keller, like one of the, more prominent first gay characters in North American comics, and they do stuff like that. They're killing Archie pretty quick. It's in the Life of Archie storyline, so it's alternate universe, so don't worry, you Archie aficionados.
For comics fans, it's like Ultimate Archie. It's the
What's the worst way Archie could die? Suicide. That's probably.
Try to get that image out of your head now.
Spoiler.
I was never an Archie guy. I like Scooby-Doo. I don't know a thing about Archie. I see. I've got a little girl. I've got a little almost 3-year-old girl. And what I liked about Scooby-Doo was there was 2 chicks on it that were actually pretty good, like, kind of polar opposite female role models. Like, Velma was a bright chick who everybody didn't really love as much as Daphne, but she was still super bright.
I like how you called them role models and then right after called them chicks.
I use that with as much affection as humanly possible for ladies. Sorry. Thanks a lot, Ed. I look like a complete asshole up here.
I was doing a check of the audience for if there were any kids in the audience before I said that autoerotic asphyxiation would be the worst way for Archie to go.
Oh my god! on that clunker of his with that car that he drives. Oh
I do hate his hair too. Yeah. Do something with that.
Just like in his car, like in that car, he's got it all tied all together.
the jalopy. The only
jalopy,
reason any of us know the word jalopy is from Archie Comics.
I thought it was a sandwich.
Well, you did lead a sheltered childhood. All right, do we want another question?
Let's take another question.
Okay. I'm going back here to this guy, and then I'll come up to here.
Graphic novel to whoever goes next door and tells them to turn it down.
You have to yell it loud enough for us to hear you, though.
Hey there. When you were growing up, when you just first started reading your first comics, were there creators that stood out for you more than others where you just went, wow, I love this person's stuff?
We have that again. I didn't.
I know what he said. Is there creators, really loud. Is there creators that stood out for us?
Oh, creators?
Bill
that you just love.
Oh yeah, surprise. Come on, Riley.
Something better than that?
John Byrne. I will go first. John Byrne is the first artist that I could recognize from sight without looking at the credits of the comic.
You guys go.
We are so totally getting Doom Patrol out of Scott.
No,
Exactly.
I didn't actually read Doom Patrol until like 5 years ago for the first time.
New Mutants.
I know the guy who asked the question.
New
He was
Mutants number 6.
Okay.
Bill Sienkiewicz. He's the best. Everybody should just know who he is. Also a Claremont book.
I was absolutely obsessed with tracking down every Frank Miller. That was the first name I knew in comic books.
Cool.
Yeah,
That Wolverine miniseries, also Frank Miller or Chris Claremont.
Yeah.
It's all Chris Claremont books except for Ed's. Probably, I don't know.
Without checking, I think Chris Claremont wrote every comic in the 1980s.
The series that influenced, like, the series that hit me the hardest and I think had the most lasting impact on me was Craven's Last Hunt. The Spider-Man series it's so dark.
I read it again recently. It's Mike
me
Zack
too.
art. It's hot, right?
Yeah, his
But
art's
it
good.
It's
dark.
like kids shouldn't be-
Back when they knew how to kill Spider-Man.
And if you read a lot of my comics, you probably can see that sort of like why that appealed to me when I was younger. But creator-wise, I wanted to be an artist originally. I wanted to be Todd McFarlane. That's what I wanted to be. And then Frank Miller, I was a huge fan of his writing and art when he was doing Sin City as well.
I think I like John Byrne too. John Byrne was like when he rebooted Superman, when that came out, it was kind of like, dude, he gets Superman. Like that was a good interpretation of Superman, I think.
Mike Mignola did villains on that.
I got Mike Mignola to sign one of those Supermans from that era, and he was unhappy the entire time that I wanted to talk about Superman. So if you're getting an autograph from him, bring Hellboy. That was a lesson learned right there.
Amazing screw-on head is also acceptable. All right.
Curse is awesome. I love it. Is there anything, I mean, horror has always been a huge comic book genre. Is there anything different that you have to do with tempo and things to make a horror comic actually kind of horrifying, so that you don't skip down the page and go, oh, I can see the giant flaming skull at the end, or is it just...
I don't know. I think about that a lot, and I've thought about it a lot. And it's a weird medium for horror, and I really like 70s horror comics, and I like 60s horror comics. And I want to make really scary comics, but it's hard because you can't build, you can't have cat scares, you can't build music and the reveal. You can do page turns, but because the reader controls the speed at how when they digest this, like when you're reading a novel, you go like, whoa, right? But if you're kind of like, oh, right? Like it's hard to do. So it seems like the lasting images, like you can build as much atmosphere as you possible, but then you kind of got to just hit somebody with something like just crazy, like intestines, or just some sort of really disturbing image, or like just a combination of weird images. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it has to come a lot more through character work too. Like that's like making people care about someone and doing shitty things to them afterwards. You got to kind of look at your horror from a different. You can't, like you said, you don't have those scares. You're not gonna get someone to jump. So like I feel like. I know I'm jumping in on your question.
No, you're right. Or like just build up the character and then do horrible things with them. And if there's one lasting image that's extra horrible,
that's a good rule. Period. All right.
Speaking of horror, can anybody name the publisher and creator of Wheelie and the Chopper Bunch?
No.
I can if you give me 45 seconds.
He hates Calgary.
Oh, well, that's terrible.
Why would we talk about him then?
I'm actually not going to look it up.
Was it Charlton?
Oh, John Byrne.
Was it Charlton? Charlton. All right. The urban legend is that Charlton comics were printed on the same presses as cereal boxes. They were done overnight on printing presses that did cereal boxes. That's why they look like the way they did.
You're such a dork, kid.
That's what I was looking up while we were talking.
No judgment.
I just, it occurred to me what comics were like printed on the printing presses of cereal boxes. because that's the kind of thing that just pops into my mind.
Is that your internal monologue?
That is.
Right now, like moderating this panel, like, oh, cereal, I want some cereal. Remember comics that were printed on cereal?
You got to do something when you're at work, right?
You have to make your own fun.
I used to cut up cereal boxes, use them for backing boards to save myself the 5 or 10 cents or whatever.
Or when I'd buy books, sometimes I'd buy books and I'd open them and it'd be like a Shreddies box.
Chris gave me a Captain Canuck comic a few months back, and it had literally just a piece of cardboard, like not treated, just brown cardboard slipped into it. Not a mark on that comic. So if you're buying backing boards, you're wasting your money.
Okay, I got a question.
There you learned something. Go ahead.
I got a
Riley.
question for everyone. Do you guys bag and board your comics?
Only my sagas.
I don't.
I don't bag any of them. I don't care about that
I read them
stuff.
in the bathtub and
I
stuff.
got some guy at the comic shop over at 80 got mad at me. He was watching me buy, and he's like, "You're getting a box, but you're not getting bags." And I was like, "No, dude, I'm just gonna read them and chuck them in there." He's like, "You're gonna lose all the worth." I'm like, "Dude, I'm gonna get worth out of reading them."
I give all my comics away every like 6 months. Like I have a box I throw them into, and there's a friend of mine's a high school teacher in Vancouver, and I just give them there, and they go to like a read pile for kids at his high school. They just read them. I've never hung on to them. I hate having stuff in the house, like long boxes. Give me the heebies, man. I just don't like looking at them. I have trades. Like I love collecting trades, and so I've got bookshelves filled with trades, but not singles.
I'm as noble as Ed. I do the same thing, except I don't give them to children in need. I give them to a comic book store and get credit.
These
similar.
These children aren't. These kids aren't children in need. They're like high school pricks, but they get free comic books.
Ed, go with it.
Yeah.
Go with the kids in need.
Follow up. Do you guys still
need.
have pull lists?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I love going to the comic store on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
I love it. I love seeing those. If I can get there before anybody else has been in there, because I have a hookup, so I could get in before the store opens. I love just seeing them all out in the rack. I just walk up to them. There's nobody else around. There's flips around.
And then he spits in them. Puts them back on the shelf.
Yeah, he liked when they went to the glossy stock. It was.
Oh, you got a question back there.
It's faster.
So, if you guys had a choice, who would your dream superhero be to do a comic on?
Swamp Thing. That's it for everyone.
I like
Swamp
that
Thing?
instinctual.
Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing. I had Doctor Strange too.
Okay, without giving anything away, I literally actually get to live that dream in sort of the next 3 months and work on my dream character.
Are you allowed to talk about
No,
it?
I'm not allowed to talk
thanks,
about it
then.
yet. But I do literally get to live that dream.
I got the subtext there that you weren't allowed to talk to it.
Sorry?
Tease.
That's how I do it.
Can you tell me over here?
Yeah.
I'll tell you over there.
I honestly, same thing just happened to me, and they did talk about it a bit earlier, but I'm a huge Captain Canuck fan, and I'm getting to write the backups for the new Captain Canuck. Woo. So, that's me doing that. For the most part, there's not a lot of superheroes I want to write outside of maybe Daredevil and Punisher. Maybe some Batman. Maybe.
Swamp Thing?
No, not Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing's boring. Everything that they did with Swamp Thing's done.
Oh.
Riley, what era? Is it the Alan Moore Swamp Thing, or is it a
Punisher?
different?
Ed's gonna come at me about Swamp Thing, right? Oh, Swamp Thing's so one-dimensional. Punisher.
I'm on your side with this one. Punisher is terrible.
Punisher is pretty much the worst.
Nah, he can be good, man.
The
But he can't be. It's not like regular Marvel Universe Punisher. You can't
The
have this Punisher who doesn't.
The Ennis
stuff is
Aaron
good.
ones. That's all we ever needed.
Yeah.
I don't know how to relate to this guy. He loses. He has a great loss or whatever, right? And then he just goes on a killing spree and ruins a million people's lives, and just kills. And when's it enough?
And he shoots like gangbangers to get revenge for
When are you guys going to start?
Mafia killed his family 15 years ago.
When are you guys going to start talking about the cons of this?
And daughters.
This is totally good. This is exactly why I want to write it. This is all the good stuff.
Daredevil, though. I'd
I
draw that Daredevil.
Yeah.
Oh, so now you guys are buddies.
Wow.
Shut up.
Well, you don't even. You're gonna.
No.
I'll ruin it. I'll ruin it for you.
We didn't talk about the Punisher video game for PlayStation.
I really
2,
like that game.
which
No.
was a great game.
The not that one. The
one on
Capcom
NES?
one. There's the Super Nintendo one that's amazing.
It is great.
The arcade version's even better.
Yeah, we played a bunch.
Okay, I like that Punisher. I like Mike Zack Punisher. like Ennis
That's the
Punisher.
one where the second player is Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That one.
South Center,
Everyone
the
has
leisure
guns, but you
center.
throw knives most
We
of the
wasted a
time.
lot of money there.
That's awesome.
There's a match made in heaven right there. Nick Fury and the Punisher together again.
They're good. Like the Ennis stuff, like when Fury comes in, he's that crotchety old fucker. Like he's
good.
such a
He's really
prick.
That
But
run,
so
that
good.
run is spectacular.
Yeah,
both,
it is.
both ends of that run are that's like. the
Wait do
Punisher
you
for
see
me.
mine? It's gonna top it. It's gonna be unbelievable.
Can we do a live play next year, Riley, you and Chris playing the SNES Punisher?
Yeah.
Just a
Whole
Super
panel.
NES.
Next week.
I'd go to that.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll set that up.
I'm writing your guys.
Ben, did you
like,
get an answer in there?
No, because there aren't really any superheroes I want to draw.
Oh well, look at me. I
Yes,
don't like
there
superheroes. Oh, superheroes are the worst.
No, they're
Anything that's
fine. I
not a
still
superhero,
really
like
love my
you
clothes.
want Cerebus or you want.
No, I just want to do my own
Art,
thing.
nothing but art.
What about like
Yeah.
Fing Fang Foom?
Nothing.
Somebody has a pail of money. They have like a wheelbarrow of money, and you're like, sorry,
I don't think I'd say no to anything for a wheelbarrow of money.
Well, so what are you gonna do for the wheelbarrow of money? Come on, something. Anything.
I don't know. I don't want to draw Spider-Man. His costume's so boring.
Okay, I will literally give you a wheelbarrow full of money if you cuddle one night, full night
Cuddle.
long with Keith, Brett, and Mo.
It turns out there are things I won't do for a wheelbarrow of money.
Yeah, Mo's right over there.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Chris,
If it was real money, I'll do it.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
She wants it up front.
It's all Ben. Ed, I know you'd do it.
I know.
Chris,
It's all Canadian Tire money.
Chris would be sitting on a chaise, like in the corner, watching you guys cuddle.
Actually, you know what? Star-Lord. I do Star-Lord.
You're creeping me out, man.
The Annihilation stuff. I really liked that
That was
space
good,
stuff
right?
back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, all of that was good.
Fantastic.
We probably have time for maybe one more question.
One more question. Okay, well, next in line was you.
Hey guys, I was just wondering if you had a comic book or a figure that you sold and then later regretted and maybe tried to track it down again.
I have not one that I sold, but because I letter a lot of comics, I get comps all the time from publishers. So I had like 25 copies of each issue of Peter Panzerfaust. And at some point last year, they went to like $1,000 for the entire run. And I'd given them all away to my friends, so it was a lot of me like walking to my friends' houses, knocking on the door, going like, "Hey, do you remember when I lent you those Peter Panzerfausts?" But no, I like literally gave away about $25,000 worth of those comics last year, and that's the only time that's ever. I don't collect comics, so I never run into that. But
I sold. I've done that before with comps. I've given away comps that turned out to be worth money. But I had a Walking Dead 1-6, and I sold them to the comic store for $250 of trade, like credit, and I was like, sucker.
There was a variant of Saga that had like the different cover for the first issue, and I had about like 10 of those, and I gave them all away. I've still got one, but yeah, those things are worth money.
I don't live with regrets, so we'll just...
That's very zen of you.
He's just not willing to dredge it up.
I live with nothing but regret, so I can't even start the list.
We balance one another.
Yeah, the biggest regret, Scott. Yeah.
Yeah, my parents would say the same thing. See, ending it on a downer.
I think we can do one more question.
Okay, one more question.
This would be a
Who
great
was-
question.
Who was next? Sorry. It was, sure, it's you.
From the Marvel crossover events, which would be your favorite each?
Sorry, could you repeat that? I didn't.
Sorry, that's which of the Marvel crossover events would be your favorite?
Ever?
For each. Yeah. Ever?
Ever each, like each person.
Each person ever.
Each one of us with our favorite ever.
Can I say amalgam?
No, that's
You
not
could,
you just shouldn't.
but that would be stupid.
Nope, I stand by it. That weird spider Superboy is like one of my favorite characters that ever existed.
You know, I like Dark Claw.
Yeah, Dark Claw. What was his name? Bruce something?
Yeah, Bruce Logan, maybe?
Bruce Logan. Yeah, Lobo the Duck. That was some dumb shit, and it was great.
I think Secret Wars was like the big one, like because that was like really the first one, right? That was awesome. But
Secret Wars is literally the only one I remember. I know there's been a bunch in the last decade, but I couldn't name one of them.
I like the thrust behind Civil War. Like I like the idea behind it.
Yeah.
I don't know how much.
The close, the end was so-so, but the concept I thought was interesting.
And I really like that Speedball was at the center of that, because he's like my favorite D-lister character that never gets any sort of play.
Yeah,
and then
but
he goes and kills a bunch of
They
children.
wrecked Speedball there. I mean,
Ah,
the penitence
you can't wreck
did not
Speedball.
work at all.
Speedball.
There's just like different, like it's like just sideways shitty. You know? It's not wrecking him.
That's true.
I'm going to go with what is widely thought to be one of the worst crossovers ever, but it was near and dear to my heart, is Secret Wars 2. Because it was as a kid, it was the time that I realized that all these characters knew each other and lived in the same universe, which I thought was wild. Like, you know, that Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four could hang out, and
My goddamn brother walked out on me.
I just wanted to point that out.
No, it's fine. Go, family.
I've had Secret Wars 2 was the first time as a child I realized that a comic book could be shitty. That was the first time I had expectations. Was like,
Oh,
the other
come
was
on,
actually
it was
the
worth
G.I.
it for
Joe.
the shoulder pads alone.
Yeah. The G.I. Joe Transformers crossover too. That was a really good one. Even it was a marketing thing.
I remember it actually being kind of good though.
Yeah,
I don't know
like
if it- I'm sure- I don't know if it
legitimately,
would hold up,
as a
but-
kid, I loved it. It was
Yeah.
they killed Bumblebee, man.
There's that big reveal with they were calling him Galvatron at the time, and Cobra Commander meeting each other for the first time.
Right, yeah.
It was fantastic.
All right, we got to wrap it up. They will continue to talk about G.I. Joe and Transformers in the entryway here.
Bring that full circle, didn't we? That's awesome.
Thanks to all of our guests here for We Talk Comics Live. This is the first time we tried this, and to answer Scott's earlier question, no, I didn't have a topic. I figured I would introduce everyone, and it would just kind of go from there. And,
It didn't show, did it?
Yeah.
Can this be the last time we try this? Like, could this be the like?
Next year, I'm gonna do a better introduction for Ed, though.
Yeah,
So that'll. I'll be practicing it from now for a couple
Ed's
months.
gonna come
Well, I had
back
a
next
moment
year.
when you started saying fabulous because you hung on that butt a little bit, and it sounded like you were going to say fat, and I'm like, just shit, man.
Now you're mad about something I didn't say.
I'm going to take that to my grave.
All of the trades that we handed out here were compliments of our pals at comicosity.com, which is a fabulous website that's only about comics. There's no news on TV or movies. It is all comic books, and as well we have a big pile of loose comic books. Come on up, grab a couple for yourself, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for.
I'm afraid to get off the stage because I know it's going to collapse at some point.
We can.
I think these people want to get out of here.
No.
All right.
Yeah, Adventure Time would be fantastic.
We'll just take a question for the road here. Do you guys see the singles being a viable business model in the future, or will it be completely taken over
They're
by
so
the trade
cheap. I'm now
paperback?
handing them away for free. That's what I think is single comics.
I'm very committed to doing our project now.
Yeah, I mean, it's free comics. Come on, people.
Yeah, man. Well, do you want to pitch that? Do you think that guy is enough to just grab what we did to make sure? I'll do anything basically with you.
If they run out before the line does.
We'll even sign the comics if you want.
Yeah, none of us
I
worked
noticed
on them,
nobody's
but we'll
taken
sign them
that.
anyway.
No, man. I love your stuff. Thanks. So I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
All right, I'll see you.
Yeah, we'll see you.
See if I can get a little Rucker Pound.
Where were you going? Well, you've got a bunch of offers, right? Swamp Thing? I think Swamp Thing is an easy draw. That's what I got to think about is which characters would actually be interesting to draw.
No, they're all these.
Yeah, I like this too. I don't have to Spider-Man. Yeah, well, no, because there isn't anything. Spider-Man would be boring as hell because he's just in a leotard. But Swamp Thing would at least be fun. Spider-Man would be pretty cool.
Yeah, they're all DC. Just grab a couple of something to read.
Green Lantern, couple comics and a trade.
It started at the convention a couple of years ago.
one of the guys does a wrestling podcast, and so they did a couple interviews for wrestlers, and they did a couple interviews for some other celebrities, and we needed. He just wanted something that he could wrap it around. So we did a little chit chat, and then we just started doing it every week, couple weeks, and then came.
Thanks to all the guys for the support too.
It started way before that, when just hanging out in the comic book store. There you go. We used to hang out in the book comic store playing pinball on them. Oh, really? Yes.
Okay, you're giving away comic books, all right. You know the mics are. But I better get some.
Looking for some of my friends too.
Oh, that okay, that kind of auto opener.
I'll just see if I can walk her. Are you doing the ribbon tomorrow too?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll be here all day.
I'll be back for Renegade Art.
Oh, sweet. Awesome. All right, we'll see you then. Yeah.
Jordan Apollo.
Jordan's place in the front. You work.
I know.
Which was making him shake.
I knew that one was gonna cause some issues.
You can't miss that. He's been like vibrating. Aaron's got back.
Oh my goodness.
I saw it on your shoulder, but
I saw it first.
no.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Thanks for your help.
Using a lot of cash.
Pardon me. Oh, somebody dropped a lot of cash. Chris, you didn't drop a lot of cash, did you?
We'll keep it.
Where did they drop it?
Right there.
I wonder if it was Ben.
Who wants to bid on this
It's actually
spot?
probably this Scott's bag is.
Oh.
It's probably his.
A little more than was it?
Scott,
Hey, no problem.
Get this happening.
What?
Yeah. I'm gonna give a bunch to my friends that haven't read you. My son has never read comics before. So I'm gonna
See that made me hauling around these comic books for 2 days. Completely worth it. To get in the hands of somebody who needs to read comics.
7-year-old boys never read comics. But you know I got
That's
these
sad.
I still have, I think, my
7 years
prized
old.
possession comic review.
But if he's 17.
Actually, you want to pull those closer to the other side.
That's what I was gonna bring it out there.
Yes, no, I still have my past comic is the Gambit and One special edition cover. Back in the day. Yeah. Yeah, I use that. It's like my device. I have that and Star Wars.
giveaway movie program that they gave away on like. Oh wow! Yeah, like that. And it said, you flip to the back cover. It says for 79 cents you can order more copies. Oh.
That beats my Star Wars t-shirt.
I get 0.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's just me. Me again. Sorry.
Are you going to be controlling the laptop?
Yes.
Okay. Here's the laptop.
Oh, I have my own.
You have your own.
And I have a dongle.
You have a dongle?
Yeah, dongle? Like a VGA thingy.
Do you need to be plugged in for power?
No.
Okay.
I hope not. We'll see. I should be good.
Here is your audio.
Should we test it out?
You want to try it?
Beautiful. Yeah, thank you.
Sounds like sound. And it's coming through. No problem. Welcome.
How's it going?
Very well.
Yeah, you guys
Okay,
exhausted? Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh.
These are hot.
Okay. Thanks so much for.
Oh, no worries. Can I get you anything right now? Do you need anything right now?
Nope.
You good? You gonna go through one more?
No.
Check
I
in-
hope not.
check in with that. One bomb style?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're gonna start letting people in then.
All right.
Okay.
Coolio.
Open the doors for us.
Thanks in advance for all your help.
Oh, no problem. I will do a little intro at the beginning here. I won't introduce you per se, but I'll just introduce some house rules and stuff like that. Okay, and then I'll turn it over to you.
Good. Okay.
We'll do that right at 6 o'clock.
Do you watch The Walking Dead?
Do I watch
Yeah.
it?
Are you gonna stick around?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this all on the TV series?
Comics TV, mostly TV. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like salivating.
I don't know how
Every-
many
every
people are
month
gonna
for the-
come
for the
because
book.
you know there's.
There's a lineup outside.
I mean the costume contest is going on right now.
I don't know if I'd worry about that. Walking Dead's big business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got all caught up on the books. So.
So you're a double dipper, eh?
Yeah, the thing with Glenn and.
I'm not caught up on the books are too violent for me.
Oh really? Yes, that thing with Glenn.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about,
Oh,
though,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
Did that just happen?
Didn't
Didn't that happen a while
no,
ago?
That's probably a while ago
Yeah.
now. Might have been last year
Yeah.
sometime now. It's hard when you get like a whole group of them and you read them
Yeah.
all.
Oh, you
feels
binged
like
it, eh?
Yeah. Totally. I'll go like a year without reading
Yeah.
it and just read it all to catch up.
Okay. Yeah. Till they start leaving. First 15 minutes.
There's a whole lot of people leaving from here.
Mm.
Okay, I'll come back and
Okay,
check
cool.
in with you right before we start. okay?
Thanks, Keith. Yay.
Thank you. All right. 3, 2, 1. Thanks a lot.
Hey. Hi. Thanks for. Thanks. Just like morning. Everyone's at the. Everyone's somewhere else. Good luck. How are you?
Nervous?
No, I don't get nervous when you sing.
Is there anything before we get started?
No. No, I think I'm okay.
Just a couple seconds here. We're gonna do your intro.
Okay.
And,
These are live, eh?
you'll take it
Yeah.
over. Yeah, live. All right, I can do it.
Cool.
Do you have any problem with anybody video recording this?
No, guess not. What am I gonna do?
Are you planning on turning it over to a Q&A session? Or anything
Yeah,
at some
yeah,
point?
for sure.
Okay, so just give me a little bit of lead into that.
Yeah.
I'll do some running for you, okay?
Okay.
Howdy guys, how you doing? Welcome to the Calgary Expo. Is everybody having a good time? That does not sound like a crowd that's having a good time. I'm going to ask you one more time. Are you having a good time? Yeah, nice. Small but powerful. I like that. Okay, guys, just before we get started here, a few ground rules, okay? Videotaping and still photography is all right. We just don't want any flash photography, please, okay? Also, if you have a cell phone in your pocket, please make sure you have it on silent or turned off. Apparently, we have a robot from the future who will come into the room and crush your cell phone. As far as I know, it's an Ed 209, so let's not tempt fate, okay? Yeah, well, all right, but you got fair warning. Also, on the way out, guys, we're going to have some surveys available. This is a panel survey, so you can tell us how awesome you thought this panel was. And for every survey you turn in, you get entered into a draw to get tickets for next year's expo. Okay? All right, so we're going to, so just see some